Yo, welcome back. Project 95, night 2, September 28th, 1995. Summer Pops, it's called. Embarcadero Center, San Diego, California. In the previous post, you'll see there's a overhead photo of the venue. It's one of the sickest venues I've ever been to. Mind you, like after clipping up the video from yesterday, I feel like I undersold like how transcendental this whole thing was for me, to be just leaving school, leaving college to do this by myself and drive across the country and be places. I'd never been to California before. So like just the venue itself was like, wow. And then seeing this band, like I said, I mentioned in one of the videos yesterday, I'd only seen them 10 times before I decided to go on tour. And then I saw, like, that's all it took. And it didn't even take that many. It was my second show, probably, where I was like, oh, this band is the best thing around. And so just, I know I totally undersold the opening night of the tour. But I suppose that is customary, right? Opening nights are kind of feeling your way through everything. But just being in California, seeing this band was just, like I said, I was soaring, as it were. So night 2, again, 8 hours away, right? Sacramento, San Diego, it's like 8 hours. And the first thing I did was went to get in line to get in, and there was Chris and Spence. And we sat, we talked, we hung out for a little bit. We went in, we kind of hung out together, but this venue, as you can look at the picture, it's basically this little marina almost, and there's just a patch of grass with like a band shell at the end, and your water's basically surrounding 3 sides of it. So there's literal sailboats and schooners and various watercraft just floating by like 30 feet away from you as this band that you have recently fallen in love with is blowing the doors off, right? So the post for today has pictures of my car. Like the car that I took on tour was that 87 Caprice Classic Woody. Basically had a mattress, middle seat folded down, mattress in the back. My mom made me curtains for a little privacy in the rest area community. It's necessary. And that's the car I took with minimal car trouble. We'll get into that I did have a couple snafus, but we'll get into that when it happens. But I went to the San Diego Zoo. See, that's my theory was, do your driving at night so that you can spend your days in the city that you're going to, right? So in Sacramento, I didn't dick around. I got on the road. So I was down close to San Diego before I pulled over and went to sleep, and I got up the next day, all day in San Diego. So I went to the zoo by myself. Good times. Some of those pictures of my car, like my car was like my my friend for a big chunk of the tour. So, oh, hey, yeah, taking pictures of my car like it's a person. Oh, go over by that tree. This will be a good pick. Definitely had that kind of relationship with this car. It was, and I wasn't supposed to take that car. I was supposed to take a Honda Accord hatchback. It was like an 89. That's what I was going to take, which is dumb. Like, where I wouldn't have been able to, I would have been asleep in the reclined front seat, driver's seat would have been a nightmare. Like, the day before I was supposed to leave, it was like, it fell apart. Like, it needed all this shit done to it that I couldn't get done. So, I just took my parents' car. Like, literally the day I left, my mom and dad bought a new station wagon so that I could take that one. New to them, used car to them. But so that was actually a fortunate mishap right out the gate. So yeah, that's the car I took, and I had a lot of different people ride with me. I think Brandon and Spencer are in one of those picks there. And it was the perfect car for that type of excursion, to say the least. So Summer Pops, I'm listening through it again, and I'm gonna say, I'll say it. Don't You Want to Go in the second set is a highlight for me. It has Back on the Train vibes, big time. Obviously, this is way before Back on the Train was a thing. It's actually a cover, and they played it 5 times, and this was the last time they ever played it. I don't know why, because it segued into this tweezer. I keep noting that things are unfinished, which I guess at the time was remarkable because they were typically finishing songs, right? No one does that anymore. If the tweezer doesn't sort of come back to itself, no one writes it was an unfinished tweezer. I listened to that Hood from the 27th too, and it just kind of fades into dissonance, and then they come out and they do Ragtime Gal, that was also a debut there. So I'm looking at it, and I'm listening to right now. I'm listening to the Don't You Want to Go, and I'm like, yes, I do want to go to there. So I wonder why they put the kibosh on that going forward. You can see from my show notes in the previous post, Jazz Jam ? Again, but they also, looking through, they played Billy Breathes again. I don't know why I made such a big deal about Cars, Trucks, Buses being played so much early, because they were clearly working through all these songs from the Billy Breathes album. Because Billy Breathes, they played 3 nights in a row, the first 3 nights. Fog That Surrounds was, there's 2, 3, I think they played it 4 out of the first 5 nights. So they're working through some of this stuff in real time, that's kind of interesting to hear. Fog That Surrounds is still, Fishman fucks up the lyrics. It's syncopated weird. And I currently, when I sing Taste, I will sing the omitted Fishman parts that used to be part of the song. I still do that. Down on myself again, step into space, wondering how I can alter my place. in this all of creation that someone else made, who was probably wondering why I have stayed and never progressed into things I could be. Have I found the right partner, or if I could see beyond these four walls into fog that surrounds the need for redemption and pins me to the ding 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 ding. And then inevitably we began singing, instead of I can see through the light, we would sing I can drink this oatmeal stout. Sammy Smith oatmeal stout was the hot beer on the lot. They were everywhere. People selling them, people nursing them. And me, Spencer, Kevin, these guys I met on tour, I can drink this oatmeal stout. I don't drink. I've never had a drink. I can still sing funny songs about beers. Yeah, I don't. If that's what you're thinking, like when Romans asked, hey, what do you do? What were you doing after the show? And if you're thinking, oh, yeah, man, he was partying. Not my game. Not my game at all. But I love the game. Still love the game. So I'm just looking through the notes. The sound check thing is interesting because these are open air venues. They're sound checking every night, so you get to hear that too, which is kind of a treat. I feel like you don't get as much anymore. It's like Gumbo, All Things Reconsidered. They were doing Fog That Surrounds again. Ragtime Gal. That was an additional sort of perk of getting to the shows early and being at these really small kind of open air outdoor venues. Again, this is late September. I'm filming these outside until I can't anymore. But the weather out there was obviously was perfect. I have Trey slapping a guitar during Scent of a Mule. He was doing this thing where he was just like almost playing it as a percussion instrument. And you'll hear it if you're listening to these, you'll hear him do it sort of frequently throughout this, at least the front end of this tour. Really culminates at Compton Terrace in like a month, or like in a couple weeks in Compton Terrace, when the possum, he does it like through the possum intro. He does it in a really cool way. So that's definitely worth noting. Something that he kind of got away from after that. The fee, I wrote about this. The fee, where literally there's this giant sailboat just sort of like coasting by. You just look over, I mean, just giant, as he's singing, Floyd at the water with astonishing speed. They're always clever like that. They like to do that kind of stuff where it's like, do you get it? Like, I am singing about a boat and water, and there is also a boat and water over there. So, yeah. Phish. I remember, and All About Armies. Yeah, Piano Army again. Back-to-back nights. But all I remember was Cars, Trucks, Buses. I didn't remember all these other songs that they were working through. Acoustic Army first set, Piano Army or Keyboard Army second set. I loved Acoustic Army. I thought it was pretty cool. Keyboard one, not my fave. Really, but the overall vibe at this venue was just, I mean, as chill a vibe as you could. You can't even fathom it if you have been going to shows only recently. Can't even fathom it. what it was like. And again, these places feel empty only in relation to like an East Coast venue. So yeah, they're working through some stuff here. And they will continue to do that for the first leg of this, for this West Coast leg, before they really, and I'll talk about that when we get to the first turning point of the tour, which is coming up a little bit later. So yeah, I hope you guys are listening, and if you can't, you can watch these, and it'll kind of give you, I don't know, it'll tickle you a little bit. So I guess I'll see you tomorrow in LA, Greek Theater. Huh? Yeah, that's one. So I'll see you guys tomorrow in LA.